Welcome to Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets, where world-renowned author, speaker, and holistic veterinarian Dr. Judy Morgan answers your questions and offers healthy options for raising your pets in a more holistic manner. Not sure which vaccinations should be given or how often? Not sure what to use for flea, tick, and heartworm prevention? Join Dr. Judy now as she interviews the top experts and showcases the latest products that will help your pets stay naturally healthy.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets, and I'm Dr. Judy. You can hear my show every Monday and Tuesday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern by going to dreamvision7radio.com. Today, I'm honored to have as my guest someone who has an exceptional talent that I know that many of us wish we had the same talent. My guest today is Nora Truscello, and I probably didn't pronounce that right, but she can fix it later. Nora is an intuition expert, counselor, coach, best-selling author, and international speaker with over 30 years of experience and training in the mystical realm of intuition. Nora's written works include two bestsellers, The Science of Intuition, Accessing the Internet, I love that, Internet of Intuitive Knowledge, and The Spiritual Psychic, which teach readers about understanding intuitive knowledge and traveling safely through spiritual realms. As a teacher, lecturer, and spiritual intuit, Nora's Intuitive Footprints program guides people through the process of exploring and interpreting the force of their intuition in an easy, safe, and useful manner. And I'm thinking that this is something that we can use for our animals and also for ourselves. And Nora currently resides in Philadelphia. Nora, welcome to my show.
Thank you, Dr. Judy. I'm so excited to be on because I just love animals. And you nailed my last name. You got it perfect.
So, yeah, sometimes I look at these and kind of go, oh, I should ask first. So you have a specialty in animal communication, but do you also deal with the spiritual realm with humans? Like, can you help people get in touch with relatives?
Absolutely. This weekend, tomorrow, I'm doing a show in Atlantic City at the Atlantic City Aquarium. Yes, and it's it's a blast. So if you're free, you're not too far from Atlantic City, you could be my guest. Just stop by. It's from 1 to 4 o'clock. We're going to read the room. Myself and my partner Chris, who is a magnificent medium, but that's kind of off track.
That's really cool.
We to speak to an animal is very similar to how we speak to the spirits. They communicate the same way with pictures, images, feelings, sometimes a sound, words. It's literally the same thing because everything is energy. Spirits are energy, animals are energy. So the communication. And if I can make one small correction, I don't have a special gift. I trained myself. Myself. Everybody.
So is it true that anyone could train themselves to do this?
It's 100% true. I tell people everybody can play the piano. Now, not everybody's going to be a concert pianist, but everybody's going to get the chopsticks out, and most people are going to fall somewhere in between if they practice.
Okay.
So that's all this is. Some of us are really fortunate. We have a natural tendency, so doing it is a lot easier, just like you'll have natural concert pianists that, they were born with their fingers moving.
Right.
So, I like to believe that, and I've never coached anyone or counseled anyone who wasn't able to pick it up.
Really?
Yeah.
So how long does the average person take to be able to train themselves to do this? And how much practice do you have to? I mean, is this like, piano, you practice a couple hours every day? Is this something that you're doing all the time? Or,
piano is linear. It's really a matter of doing it over and over and over. With intuition, it's exponential. By the time we're finished this phone call, if the people listen to the couple different steps, these couple different steps, they'll be able to connect with their animals.
Really?
Safely and effectively.
Oh, this is exciting.
It's not magical.
Oh, yes, it is. For those of us who don't do it very well, I mean, I do it a little bit with my patients.
You do it, doctor. You do
I do it with my patients, and I will
yes.
say I do it with my animals. But, you know, I would not it's interesting because I have worked with animal communicators in my office, and my patients, you know, my clients with their pets seek the help of animal communicators quite often. And it's funny, my sister does craniosacral work and physical therapy, and
yes.
and she does Reiki, and I feel like she has an incredible talent to communicate with these animals. And she'll say to me, "Oh, no, I'm not a communicator," you know, and you know, so I guess it just depends. We're all communicating on some level. We just don't. So my dogs are chiming in. I think they have something to say about this.
They do. Isn't that great?
You know, I have the only radio show in the world where dogs barking in the background is kind of okay.
It's totally okay. And your sister works continuously in the field of energy.
Yes.
So she is communicating. She's just, you know, probably a little shy about saying it.
Right. Well, I think she doesn't want people calling her up and saying, "Hey, will you communicate with my dog for me?"
Right. I mean, I really don't do that myself. I mean, I will help a friend or something because I'm more interested in coaching and helping you do it for yourself.
Which is so amazingly cool to think that, you know, all of us could do that. So are the animals talking to us all the time, or do we like really have to tune in? You know, I mean, obviously people aren't talking all the time, but they're thinking all the time.
Well, I look at it this is how I kind of explain it. The animals are capable of communicating with us at any time. But just like us, I'm working in my back office. My husband's up front, and he's talking to somebody on the telephone. He's busy communicating. I'm not listening. So the animals aren't listening. They're not paying attention to us. Now, if my husband called my name, I'm going to suddenly pay attention. If we call our pet's name, now we have their attention. So now they'll communicate with us. Wild animals, or even like bees, insects, butterflies, say, you know, you're not going to call their name. They're actually easier to tap into.
Really?
Because, they're not as, animals that are domesticated are kind of like, they have a little bit more human tendencies of thinking about, you know, they're not really thinking the way we think. They're very present. Animals are extremely present.
Right.
But I don't have pets anymore. I loved my dogs. Oh my gosh. I don't have any because I'm in an apartment now. Okay. But if I called one of my dogs, he's immediately looking at me and going through his mind. I see a leash, or I see a toy, and it's like he thinks I'm going to now play. No, I'm just calling him because I'm going to come over to pet him, and then he understands and he comes. Where a wild animal, or say a butterfly or a bee, I love doing it with bees. If I get the bee's attention by just being present near it, it's not flashing things in front of me that it knows I know, like my dog would. It is instead more curious and just creates this harmonious, empty, quiet space between us where there's sort of, I don't know how to explain it except to say it's a warm, loving feeling that just moves between yourself and the wild animal that is just as amazed that you stopped to acknowledge it as you were amazed that it stopped, that it recognized you were acknowledging it. It's just an awesome moment.
That is very cool. Well, you know, and it's interesting because when I used to do a lot of work, I still have a few horses, but I used to do a lot of training with students and trained horses. And, you know, when you have those difficult animals, you know, and as a teenager, when I couldn't catch my pony in the field, I would get so frustrated, and I would, you know, have my temper tantrum as I was running around the field trying to catch her and chase her. You know, and later in life, I figured out that, hey, dummy, you know, if you just stand still or sit down and wait and think about the animal calmly coming to you, they'll come over because they're curious, and then, you know, they're there and they're in your presence instead of making this big deal. And, you know, at that point, the pony's afraid to come to me because she knows how angry I am. So, you know, it's kind of the same thing with all of our animals. If we are quiet and tune in, you know, they're definitely more curious. I know in my house, if you sit on the sofa, 4 cats and 8 dogs are instantly right there.
They also know it's cuddle fun time.
That too. But they instantly, it doesn't matter where they're sleeping, what they're doing, they're like, oh, somebody's on the sofa, here we go. And you know what, everybody's right there. So I worked with a communicator once, and it was a newfound talent for him. And when he figured out, it was pretty interesting. He was starting to learn craniosacral work and stuff, and it was interesting because we didn't know it at the time, but he had a brain tumor. And I think that somehow the brain tumor triggered this part of his mind to just be in overdrive, and he really started listening. But I remember pulling into the driveway of the farm one night, and he was in the car with me, and he said, oh my gosh, all of the horses are talking to me. He's like, it's a cacophony of sound. There were 22 horses, and they all came, they were in different paddocks, and they all came over as we pulled up the driveway and came to the edge of their fences. And he said, this one's telling me this one's telling me this one's, and it was weird because he had never been able to tune into it before, and all of a sudden it was right. It
was profound,
there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's exponential. Once you start, it goes rapidly.
Very
it
cool.
It grows extremely fast. And I have never, outside of the occasional times I got to ride horses, got to communicate with them, I find them the most intelligent, fascinating creatures. Yeah. They're so stately, and they're humble. Horses are like humble. And there's these big creatures, and you would think, gosh, you could just smush me. And it's like you're waiting to see what you can do for me. You amaze me.
Yes. And I mean, they're so willing to work for us and carry us around and do things for us. And, it would be just as easy for them to say, yeah, I don't think so.
Right. It's so true. I found that out the hard way when I was little. I was like 7 years old and first time riding a horse, and I got kicked off.
Oh, no.
And I was sitting in the bushes. I was petrified, and I'm at a camp. And, the campers, the counselors are kids themselves.
Right.
But to a 7-year-old, you're not a kid. And they're like, oh, I just sit there. And I'm like, oh, good, they're going to let me just sit here. I didn't know they were being sarcastic. Well, this one counselor got down, and she just came over to me, and she brought me next to the horse, and she said, it's okay. See, he's gentle. He wants you to get back up. And I just kind of felt the horse really wanted me to get back up. And this is before I opened up, before I understood how to use my intuition. But that horse, I'm so grateful for, because I got back up. And you can't get me off a horse. Give me the opportunity, and I'm riding.
Well, good for you, because for a lot of people, having that be their first experience, they would never go back, and it would be, it's like...
And like I said, I credit the horse.
Children who are bitten by a dog, and then they're petrified of dogs for the rest of their life. One of my dogs bit a little girl. It was a provoked attack, just a very weird scenario. But when I went to the home, to apologize and say, let's get her to the doctor. Whatever. It barely broke the skin, but I said, let's get her to the doctor or whatever. And the mom said, I keep telling her if she keeps screaming and waving her arms and running every time she sees a dog, she's going to keep getting bitten. I mean, this poor child, she was so petrified of dogs that her reaction was to flail and scream, which to a dog, their natural instinct is, hey, that's the wounded, injured one that we're supposed to take down. And they think they look at it as threatening, when you're waving and screaming at them. And so this poor child, she had never learned how to approach a dog, how to get through that fear. And, she had been bitten so many times. And I always felt so bad that my dog was a perpetrator in that as well. Mm-hmm. But then I also looked at my dog who, he was protecting me. I had my 3-week-old son in my arms at the time, and so I was like, all right, well, thanks for protecting me, buddy, but I wish you hadn't done that. So at what age did you figure this out, that you had this gift?
Oh, this is such a funny story. So I'm of Middle Eastern descent. I'm actually Lebanese. And my grandparents came over, so I'm third generation. Some of my grandparents were here even longer, so you could say I'm fourth generation. But I'm still very ethnic in that we eat a lot of the food. My father spoke the language, and we had a restaurant called the Middle East. And in the Middle East culture, intuition or psychic abilities is accepted. And people would come in to the restaurant, and they would want to be read. So different belly dancers, because they had live belly dancers way back in the day.
Where was this restaurant?
In Philadelphia, Old City. It used to be in Ellsworth Street, and they moved to Old City. It was over 40 years that it was in business.
That was
closed.
Our favorite restaurant. Anytime we would have out-of-town guests come, we would go there.
The Middle East at 2nd and Chestnut. Wasn't it an awesome time?
Oh, my gosh, that was the best. Oh, and boy, this is really off topic, but we would have out-of-town guests come, and we're like, we have, because it was so unique. It was so unique,
especially at its time. For its time, it was way ahead of itself.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yes. So this is the environment I grew up in. So you get what I'm saying.
I do. Belly dancers. Oh my gosh. And when I would come home with a boyfriend from college, my dad would say, "Okay, we're going to go to the Middle East restaurant," because he thought it was really fun to take a college boy to the Middle East restaurant with the belly dancers. So my dad would give him a bunch of ones, and then all evening he would be egging him on to put the money in the belly dancers. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Blast from the past. That is so cool. I have to tell my parents.
Well, one day I'll have to have you over for hummus.
All right. Okay. So
back to my story. So people would ask to be read, and I would be just my sister would be very intuitive, my father, and I'm looking at all these people do this kind of stuff, and I just knew they were crazy. Truly, I labeled them as crazy. And I meant that. I really knew they were crazy, but I just figured it's okay. I'm more American. I'm not like them people, and I'll be okay as long as I don't get too close. I was like 13 or 14 years old. I'm standing in my mother's kitchen, and she's behind the kitchen counter cooking, because there's 6 kids in the family, so you're always cooking. Plus, there was always at least one dog or a cat. And suddenly I get this download of information. This rush of knowledge, of knowing came to me. And it was so profound and so crystal clear that it wasn't my imagination and it wasn't something I created, that all I could think of was, oh, my God, I'm crazy. I'm crazy, too. It was so petrifying, Doc, I can't tell you what the knowledge was, because it was so frightening that I had that ability and that I knew I was crazy, that I actually blocked it instantly. Like, I forgot it. I didn't care. I didn't want to know. So I kind of hid it for about a month, but too many things were happening. Like I said, once you start, whether it's intentionally you're starting or naturally you're starting, it grows exponentially.
And how old were you at the time that this happened?
I was like 13 or 14. I'm not exactly sure. It was over a month of battling this knowingness, things popping in, these pictures, these images, that I went to see my father. And he was on the 2nd floor of the restaurant. So I don't remember if you remember those turny staircase, that curly staircase that belly dancers would come down.
Yep.
I remember walking up those steps like I was walking to my execution. I had to finally surrender and tell my father that I'm crazy like he is and the rest of these people, and what does he recommend? I'm literally thinking this stuff. I'm surrendering to this insanity because I couldn't stop it. Well, I walk into his office on the 2nd floor, and in this meek little voice, I'm like, Dad. He's like, what? My father was not a patient man. And so it shocked me how gentle and patient he was when I said to him, I think I'm crazy. I know things, and I don't know how I know them, but I can't stop. And he just looked up, and he reached out his arm, and he twisted his wrist back and forth. And he says, honey, we're all radios. You just have to tune into your station. You're lucky. You're naturally tuning in. It's a gift when you don't have to work at it. I was like, holy cow, he just told me 2 highly things that were two things that led me the rest of my life. One, we are all radios, all. He didn't say, oh, some of us are radios. Second, you just need to tune in. And some of us are lucky enough to be, naturally tuned in. So my station was tuned in without too much difficulty. And that's how from that point on, I became a junkie. I wanted to learn everything I could get my hands on, because as far as I'm concerned, if everyone can do it, it's normal. I wasn't crazy anymore.
There you go. Well, I like that, because I would like to be that kind of crazy. Or I would like to be more that kind of crazy. So, I think for many of us, we're kind of sitting here going, oh my gosh, that would be so cool if because the kind of questions that people always ask, is he suffering? Is he in pain?
Yes.
Does he love me? Is he happy? Am I offering what he needs? People really want to know those things, and particularly I deal with a ton of senior animals, and I also do a lot of rescue work. So we get in these animals that we just feel like they're broken, and we adopted one little dog that she had been so attached to her owner, and when the lady got married, the husband didn't like the dog, and he was mean to the dog, and the dog had a bunch of health issues, so the woman surrendered the dog. And that dog was so sad. It took 4 months for her to actually start to bond with us. It took 4 months before she actually found her voice and would bark or talk. And once she did, and she did bond with us, she just became the happiest, most wonderful, most loving dog. We took her everywhere with us. We lost her about a year and a half later to cancer. And it's very sad. But this dog taught many of us how to bounce back and enjoy life. And I feel like that dog connected with me more, and I could understand her. My intuition was tuned into her better than a lot of them. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Nora, we are going to get you to give us some tips, some ways that we can start to tune in, how we can figure this out, because I think this is something that we would all love to do. And I have a couple other questions. Like, when I was with an animal communicator, I used to worry that this person was reading my mind all the time, and that's scary. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Interested in learning more? Visit Dr. Morgan's website at www.drjudymorgan.com, where you'll find detailed information about her blogs, a schedule of her upcoming speaking engagements, free information about integrative and holistic medicine, as well as an interactive forum where anyone can ask Dr. Morgan a question completely for free. Visit her website today to join the mailing list, where you'll find exclusive information and promotions only available to those select subscribers. Dr. Morgan is an accomplished author, having published several books about veterinary medicine and home cooking for your pets. You can find From Needles to Natural, detailing her journey from practicing traditional medicine to understanding the healing power of holistic practices today, on Amazon Prime, as well as What's for Dinner Dexter and Canine Kitchen Capers, which are two great recipe books that you'll find both delicious and entertaining. When it comes to our pets' health, you can never be too careful. We invest significant time in ensuring that they have long and happy lives, but it's important to invest the same dedication into our own longevity. The key active ingredient in Dr. Morgan's wellness formula, pure New Zealand deer antler velvet, is now available as a standalone human-grade product. Life Deer Antler Velvet is a whole food supplement rich in calcium and collagen to support healthy joints and strong bones. Our products prioritize purity, ethical harvesting, and quality sourcing above all else. Visit lifepurerecovery.com to learn more and order your first bottle today.
Tune in to world-renowned author, speaker, and holistic veterinarian Dr. Judy Morgan, and now radio host of Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network every Monday and Tuesday, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Not sure which vaccinations should be given or how often? Not sure which food is best for your individual pet? Find out the answers to your questions in this weekly show, where Dr. Judy interviews top experts and showcases the latest products that will help your pets stay naturally healthy.
Does your dog have bad breath? Tired of spending money on expensive dental procedures? Try out Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops today and save money while maintaining your pet's oral health. With New Zealand deer antler velvet as the primary ingredient, Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops are effective for treating stomatitis, gingivitis, and ulcers. You can purchase Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops directly from Amazon Prime or from her website, www.drjudymorgan.com. Dr. Morgan's Wellness Formula for dogs and cats provides multiple health benefits in one product. Made with all natural ingredients sourced from New Zealand, this supplement can be used routinely to maintain overall physical and mental well-being. This product is particularly beneficial for the maintenance of joint health, nerve and brain function, skin and coat health, immune function, gut health, and liver health. Find Dr. Morgan's Wellness Supplement today on Amazon Prime or at her website, drjudymorgan.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets on DreamVision7Radio.com. My guest today, Nora Truscello, is an intuitive. And so she has been talking about how she came to know that she was intuitive, which I think is so cool. Like, you know, if the sky opened up and I just heard voices and knew things that I shouldn't know, like they just came out of nowhere. First of all, there's a few people whose brain, like some of my mentors and instructors, I would like to, my main instructor in traditional Chinese veterinary medicine, I say all the time, man, I just want 10 minutes inside his brain. So if you could tell me how to get in there, that would be awesome.
Oh, my gosh. A hand to God. Before coming on for this interview, I sat in my quiet place and I asked St. Francis for assistance to make sure I can address the needs of the animals, make sure I do not make a mistake when telling people how to do this. Because who is the lover of animals? In my reality, it's St. Francis. Sure. Well, for you, I have tapped into scientists. Like, I'm really having trouble understanding the quantum physics of a certain situation. Now, I don't want the exact science, but I know that they will give me a flash. So, yes, you can. You can ask for that connection. It's, oh, my gosh, there's scientists who have talked about doing this. I'm trying to think of which one. I don't know if it was Einstein or if it was Tesla. I kind of think it might have been Tesla, who will sit still and ask greater minds to please come and advise him. It's all energy. So you're just tapping in.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so what steps do we need to do? How do we get started doing this? Like, do I need to go? So first of all, I'm really bad at meditating. I've tried to do it so many times. And I've told this story before, but, you know, Jack Canfield is one of my mentors, and so he meditates all the time, and he can drop into a meditative trance in like 2 seconds. You know,
yeah.
He'll sit there, he'll be talking to you and giving you advice, and the next thing you know, he's got his eyes closed, and it looks like he just fell asleep. And you're like, well, geez, I didn't think I was that boring. You know, and then a minute and a half later, his eyes pop open, and he gives you the key to whatever it is that you need to deal with. And it's like, where did that come from? And he's like, oh, I just went inside and asked, and it popped up. So, you know, I'm like, all right, go to do this. And so, you know, I start, and all I hear is the dog snoring, the clock ticking, the cars going by, and my mind just jumps from one thing to the next. So I actually went and sat in the walk-in closet with no windows and no lights, and I thought, well, okay, if I can block out the light and the sound, maybe I can actually do this. Yeah, well, after 3 days of sitting in the closet, I said, I don't think I can do this.
I don't think you were properly trained.
Oh, I haven't been trained at all. I need to go take lessons on how to meditate.
So if I can give myself a small plug, on Facebook, Into Intuition has its own page. Into Intuition is my show, my website. But I have a page on Facebook. And every morning, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m., I do a 10-minute meditation with people, and I guide them. And you can hear the replays on YouTube. So just jump on YouTube, find something that looks interesting, and try it out. Meditation is not the complete quieting of your mind. It is being able to stay single-focused. So when I hear a lawnmower, I just am like, there's a lawnmower, come back to my focus. I didn't break my meditation, it's just there was a lawnmower. So it's part of the animal communication is to be very present. And meditation is a great way to practice it, but it's not the only way. You do need to there's a few steps for us to first be able to speak with an animal. You have to understand you are made up of 3 parts. You're mental, emotional, and spiritual. So each one of those parts have to be in tune. So mentally, you don't want to be in your head about the argument you had with your sister yesterday. You know you can be vacuuming, you can be working, but that conversation that you had with your sister that you're still having is going on in your head. You can't, you have to stop all the mental noise. Now, what do you do? How do you stop the mental noise? Well, you focus on your purpose. My purpose is to be present and to be of service to my animal. That's my focus. Well, how do I do that? Well, you just say it. I'm going to be present to the animal. And if your mind goes to your sister, you go back to, no, I'm being present to my animal right now. I'll pick that story up later. Okay. So mental. Emotional. You don't want to be upset. You don't want to be overexcited like the little girl being too excited and getting bit by the dog. You don't want to have just come out of an argument with somebody because that energy is still vibrating in you, and the animal will pick that up. You want to come from an emotionally calm place. So mentally, I'm of service to my animal. I want to be with them emotionally calm and relaxed. And the last part is spiritual. And this is a huge part of who I am. You never tap in to anyone or anything without spiritual protection. So you go to whatever your practice is. I'm a Catholic, so I go to my Catholic practices. I would say the Lord's Prayer and the prayer of protection. Or something quick in my mind, to my higher self, requesting protection. Because everything out there is not good. Mm-hmm. A lot of it's good, but not everything is good. So you just want to have that protection. So once those 3 pieces are put together, you are now prepared. And now we just need to get with the animal. Now the animal, so let's say dog, because a lot of us have dogs. You don't want to do it while your dog is eating, because all animals are very present to what they're doing, unlike us. Right. So he's eating, don't bother me, I'm eating. He's focused on his food. He wants to get that down. If he's playing and really excited and having a good time, why would you want to interrupt them? Approach the dog or let the dog come to you when they're in a relaxed state also. And then it's just a matter of sitting there calmly and thinking in your mind, how can I serve you? What would you like to tell me? Now, the biggest mistake people make is they say, well, I thought that. You might have thought it, but it probably was, you thought it because it intuitively came in. You'll see an image. The dog might show you, like I said before, a leash. And it's like, oh, let me see if I'm right. And you replay the word leash to him. So you want to go for a walk. Now, you do this all without speaking. You do this through your mind's thoughts only. So you're sure the animal isn't, it's like if you said go for a walk to any dog, they're out there, right. They're at the door jumping. So you don't want to say that. You want to use your mind. Simple things like that, and see if it comes back to you. If it comes back again, it's like, okay, I have a hit. Okay. Or you could even say, I'm trying, it's my honor to be able to speak with you this way. Can you show me your favorite toy? And then see if the toy that the dog always likes pops into your head. Or see if he goes gets it. That's even better. Man, when they go get it, it's like, oh, yeah, I am communicating. You could even say, would you get me your favorite toy? Or would you like to go for a walk? And if they look up at you with that look of, oh, did you say walk? You know you're communicating, but you also want to listen. You also want to hear. And you hear by seeing pictures, catching words, and feelings. Don't disregard the feelings.
Okay.
And there is one more thing you can do, and I'd love you guys to try this stuff. Please try it and, message me, email me, let me know how you're doing. I'll be happy to give you some free, like a little back and forth to make sure you're doing what you, are hoping to accomplish, is to use energy medicine on yourself to test for proficiency. So, okay, I just saw a leash. Am I correct? Is that what my dog is telling me? And energetically test it on yourself and see if you get a yes or a no.
So how would you test it?
We're actually going to do a show on that next week. Okay, I feel like I'm cheaply plugging myself 3 times now, but I'm going to say,
please.
On Facebook, on Facebook, there's a group called Empowerment Through Intuition, and we teach every week. We do a show. We teach something, and this week we're going to be teaching energetically testing. But a very simple way is to put your thumb and index finger together like a circle on both hands and interlock them, and just gently pull, like a real gentle pull, and let the fingers come apart. Now that's a no. Now, if you think of something, try it now. Anybody who's listening, put your fingers together and say, my name is, and say your true name. And notice, using the same pressure, your fingers don't quite open. And then say, my name is, and use a different name. Using the same pressure, notice how quickly your fingers separate. That's your no. That's how simple energy testing can be. And that's a way to give yourself confirmation that your animal is communicating with you.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So now I'm imagining, because I just did it. I'm sitting. Everyone is now listening. If you're not driving, you're sitting there playing with your fingers.
Good. This is what I do. I love people to learn how to do it for themselves.
So this is really cool. Okay, so that the Facebook page where you teach something every week is Empowerment Through Intuition?
Intuition. It's a group. It's a group page, yes.
Right,
and then the meditations are on Intuition page.
I wrote that down somewhere. I'm taking notes here because I'm going to tune into this because I need help. All right, so
I would love it.
Into Intuition is a Facebook page, and that's where we do the morning meditations, and it's at 6 a.m., which is
But you can watch them any time of day.
Yeah, sure.
Because they're already on Facebook, or you can catch them on YouTube. All our shows are on YouTube also.
That is very cool. This is kind of fun stuff. I mean, I like the fact that, a lot of times when I talk to communicators or I talk to people who do this kind of stuff, it's like, okay, yeah, well, you're good at it, and but you really make me feel like we could all tap into this if we started doing it and started listening and just spent a little bit of time.
Have you ever met a single mom who did not know what her child needed and the child couldn't speak? It's the same thing. The only difference is we think, oh, well, that's a mother-child bond. Yeah, that is stronger than an animal-person bond to some people, but not to others.
I was going to say, my kids used to be loving the dogs more than them.
Yeah, you tell my son his Ridgeback isn't his baby, and he'll take you out. Exactly. It's the love, it's the desire, it's the want to help. And yes, it's just like a mom can, you can, anyone can.
Very, very interesting stuff. Okay, it is time for us to take a break to hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to get some more information from Nora about how we can learn more about this whole intuitive process. I think that I think this is fascinating. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Interested in learning more? Visit Dr. Morgan's website at www.drjudymorgan.com, where you'll find detailed information about her blogs, a schedule of her upcoming speaking engagements, free information about integrative and holistic medicine, as well as an interactive forum where anyone can ask Dr. Morgan a question completely for free. Visit her website today to join the mailing list, where you'll find exclusive information and promotions only available to those select subscribers. Dr. Morgan is an accomplished author, having published several books about veterinary medicine and home cooking for your pets. You can find From Needles to Natural, detailing her journey from practicing traditional medicine to understanding the healing power of holistic practices today on Amazon Prime, as well as What's for Dinner Dexter and Canine Kitchen Capers, which are two great recipe books that you'll find both delicious and entertaining. When it comes to our pets' health, you can never be too careful. We invest significant time in ensuring that they have long and happy lives, but it's important to invest the same dedication into our own longevity. The key active ingredient in Dr. Morgan's wellness formula, pure New Zealand deer antler velvet, is now available as a standalone human-grade product. Life Deer Antler Velvet is a whole food supplement rich in calcium and collagen to support healthy joints and strong bones. Our products prioritize purity, ethical harvesting, and quality sourcing above all else. Visit lifepurerecovery.com to learn more and order your first bottle today.
Tune in to world-renowned author, speaker, and holistic veterinarian Dr. Judy Morgan, and now radio host of Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network every Monday and Tuesday, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Not sure which vaccinations should be given or how often? Not sure which food is best for your individual pet? Find out the answers to your questions in this weekly show, where Dr. Judy interviews top experts and showcases the latest products that will help your pets stay naturally healthy.
Does your dog have bad breath? Tired of spending money on expensive dental procedures? Try out Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops today and save money while maintaining your pet's oral health. With New Zealand deer antler velvet as the primary ingredient, Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops are effective for treating stomatitis, gingivitis, and ulcers. You can purchase Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops directly from Amazon Prime or from her website, www.drjudymorgan.com. Dr. Morgan's Wellness Formula for dogs and cats provides multiple health benefits in one product. Made with all natural ingredients sourced from New Zealand, this supplement can be used routinely to maintain overall physical and mental well-being. This product is particularly beneficial for the maintenance of joint health, nerve and brain function, skin and coat health, immune function, gut health, and liver health. Find Dr. Morgan's Wellness Supplement today on Amazon Prime or at her website, drjudymorgan.com.
Welcome back to Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets on DreamVision7Radio.com. So my guest today, Nora Truscello, who is an intuitive, has been giving us phenomenal information on how we can kind of slow down and tune in to our animals and, get a better idea of what they're thinking, what they might need from us. I'm excited by the fact that really anybody can do this. And, comparing a mother and a baby to, a mom and a dog, or a mom and a cat, or a mom and a horse, I think any of us who are in tune with our animals or close to our animals can frankly, if we think about it, we can say, oh, yeah, I know when he wants this or that, or, when he's sad or what he's feeling. And sometimes it's because they're being very exuberant, but sometimes you can just sit and look at them and kind of bond with them, and you kind of get an impression of what's going on with them. So
that's
Nora,
exactly.
You have a couple more really important points that we need to know.
Little key points.
Okay.
Don't beat yourself up. Always honor the message. Even if you don't think you're right, honor the message that you received. So if the dog says, like all of a sudden you see a bowl of water, go clean the dog's water dish out, even though you did it just an hour earlier, and fill it up. He might be acknowledging that I appreciate the clean bowl prior, or it will let him know that you understood. So you always want to honor the message. And also, when you're learning intuitively, you want to honor the message so more messages come. When you don't honor the message, and a quick little story I tell, I got a quick little story I tell people. You go visit your grandmom. You're a young person. You're in your teens. You go visit grandmom. You say, Grandmom, how were you and Grandpapa married? 60 years. Well, she'll stop whatever she's doing. You want to know what it means to have a strong, good relationship? She'll stop whatever she's doing, sit there. She'll tell you from A to Z everything you need to know to have a good, strong relationship that will stay married for 60 years. Then you go off, you get married, and you pay no mind to any of Grandma's advice, and you just, nothing's working out. You go visit Grandma again. Grandma, what do I need for a good relationship? Okay, wait a minute. Grandma's thinking, I just stopped everything and explained this to her. All right, so now Grandma will say, okay, and I'll be right with you. She'll slow up what she's doing, finish it up, sit down and talk to you. You ignore it. You get divorced. You come back. Grandma, you think Grandma gives a hoot at this point? You think she wants to talk to you anymore? It's like, give me a break, kid. I keep telling you, but you're not listening. Same with intuition. So when you're receiving the messages from the animals, they're going to get frustrated. It's like, oh, yeah, right. That's a new toy. New toy, this person thinks I'm a toy. And they're not going to pay attention. So honor it. Don't go into it like it's a game. Go into it with the intent of being of service, gaining something for both you and your animal. And the second thing I would like to say is don't overanalyze the animal's behavior when you're talking to them. Okay, because we tend to do that. Ooh, his tail started wagging, so it must be that he understood. Maybe. Or maybe he's just wagging his tail because he's happy to be next to you. So don't overanalyze. If he always wags his tail when he's next to you, that's why he's wagging his tail. But if he doesn't usually just start beating his tail, then that is a sign. You don't want to overanalyze. You want to pay attention.
Okay.
And
Very
that's
cool.
kind of it in a nutshell. And I'm happy, really, if you are on my website, there's ways to communicate with me, contact forms and the like. You can email me, any of your listeners, say, I heard you on Dr. Judy, and I just wanted to clarify X, Y, Z. I'd be more than happy to communicate with you back and forth to help you, just get the ball rolling for yourself.
And we need to give the website, which is www.intuition.com, which is very cool. Yes. So you help people speak with other people or deceased relatives and tap into that as well?
I call myself a counselor and a coach, and I help people get the right decision 99% of the time. I can't say 100% just because you never know. And how do I do that? I teach them how to trust their gut intuition. When is it safe? When should I listen to my gut? When shouldn't I listen to my gut? And from there, from that step, I can train people then to move into mediumship, hearing spirits, being able to do medical intuition. I'm very cautious about medical intuition, even with pets, because, okay, you get a sense something's wrong. People rely on the medical intuit. No, you get a sense something's wrong, you better take it to the vet. Right. Now, because you're the one who's trained. You can say, listen, my medical intuit said kidney problems. Some vets will look at you and cross their eyes. You won't. Right. That it's wonderful. Just like if I told the person, I feel there's a disturbance in your hip, you're not going to go to the doctor and say, hey, go check out my hip. You just go to the doctor. Intuition medically, you got to be really cautious with because you don't want to be. But I can tell a person how to distinguish there is a disturbance in the energy of the animal or in the energy of a person if they wanted to know, as well as, just being able to, most importantly, being able to tap in for yourself, making good business decisions. And I'm very successful at business, but that's because I use all my logical knowledge, I use my business degree, and then I tap in intuitively. I marry the two.
Which is interesting. So, because here I am, I'm struggling with a lot of business decisions and, running a bunch of different businesses at the same time. And, I keep I keep going in circles and going in circles, and I keep, bumping up against things, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm like, oh, that just doesn't feel right. So if you're bumping up against something and you're trying to pound the square peg into the round hole, that's just your intuition saying, hey, this isn't right? Is that yes, no?
Sometimes, and sometimes it's logic saying, well, that's kind of stupid.
Well, there's...
But what you want to do is you want to lay it out logically, and
Right.
then you want to look at it intuitively and say, okay, will this take me on the path that I'm looking to get on, or is there another option? And I can train you how to image whether this is the correct path, or is there another option? And if there is another option, we practice the imagery of how to discover the other option.
Cool.
I don't like to give my clients the answer. Like I can tell you, because then I'm not serving you. I'm making you reliant on me, and that's
Right.
not serving you. I want you to be able to do it for yourself. Now, I always back it up. I always do a check.
And it's interesting because when I had the communicator in my practice, I became very reliant on the communicator. And it was like, well, I just threw like my medical knowledge out the window, and I was like, well, whatever
Right.
he says,
Right.
and that is not a good way to be.
No.
But he discovered a few things in a few patients that I never would have looked for. Although, just this week I diagnosed lung cancer in my old cat and lung cancer in one of my old dogs. And when I took the cat in, I took her in because she was losing weight. And so I said to my technicians, we'll get some blood work from her, and, we'll see what that comes back. And right before I left the office, I said, I'm just going to throw this cat on the x-ray table. And there was just something, whether the cat said it to me or it had to be intuition because there was no good reason for it. I said, I'm just going to throw this cat on the x-ray table, and we found a huge lung tumor, which did not show up on lab work. Her lab work is perfectly normal. So if I had just done the lab work and not listened to that little bell in my head that said, hey, let's just go x-ray the cat. And then we had the same thing happen with the dog yesterday. I sent her, she's urinating more than normal, so I sent her into the clinic with my husband. He took her in because I wasn't there. And so my other doctor, I said, well, just get some lab work for me. And I said, x-ray her abdomen because it looks a little big. I think maybe, we might have a problem in the spleen or the liver. And for whatever reason, they x-rayed her abdomen and her chest and found lung cancer in her chest. And I didn't tell them to do that. Somehow the dog they figured it out.
Isn't that amazing? I love it.
Well, and so now, of course, I'm a crazy person. This afternoon, every single one of my animals is going in for a chest X-ray.
Well,
so we're taking the caravan.
Here's something that's a little frightening. And maybe I'm all right. I already opened the door, so I'm going to finish opening the door. And I don't mean to scare any of your listeners, but the animals very often will pick up the illness before we do because they're trying to protect us from the illness. So please get yourselves checked.
Interesting. Well,
make sure you do your routine appointment.
When I was at work yesterday, I was talking to my staff about this, and I said, I'll be in tomorrow with my whole entourage of animals. And I said, you know what, I might just throw me on the x-ray table too.
There you go. Good girl.
And,
I'm not saying get an x-ray, but go see your doctor.
But the reason I said that is my daughter's fiancé, his mom is 9 years younger than me, and a few weeks ago was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma in her lungs. And, she's 50 years old, and she's a nurse, and all she had was a swollen lymph node in her neck. And so, of course, I was devastated by it, and I thought, well, how the heck are we, she had no clue that she was even ill. And I thought, well, how can, I always say when I hear that, like, how can you not even feel bad? How can you not realize that you've got something that bad in your body? And to me, it's a little scary. So I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? Just go x-ray myself, once a year?
No. And it's also, I swear the people who are the caregivers are the least attentive to their own selves. Because you'll have people who are very aware like something's off in their body, but they're not the ones who are busy caring for everybody else.
Right.
So it's not surprising she's a nurse. And it's not surprising that, animals do this for us. They really, really do. You will find often that somebody who has cancer, their dog had it a year ago.
Interesting.
We just did an animal communication show this past week. It's up on YouTube, and sure enough, somebody said that their dog, I think it was their dog or their cat, got lymphoma, and they went through all these different kinds of treatment, a lot of them holistic, and they were so grateful because it was the animal actually taught them what to do, so when their father got it, they knew what to do.
Wow.
It was an opportunity. It was beautiful. Sad, because you don't want our animals sick.
No, but you know, I learn from every one of my patients, and I say that all the time. And I have to write up a case study for my hospice and palliative care certification. And so I said to my husband this morning, well, I'm going to use Millie, our dog, for my case study because she's almost 17. We're obviously not doing chemo and everything, and we're going to do hospice and palliative care. And he just looked at me and he said, they never stop teaching us. Every one of them. It's like they know what I need, and they will teach me, and then I can use that for more of my patients. Nora, we are out of time. This has been fascinating.
I'm so sorry. I had so much fun.
I absolutely love this show. So thank you so much. For those of you that have been listening, tune in every Monday and Tuesday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern, dreamvision7radio.com. All of our shows are archived, so if you've missed something in the past, you want to go back and listen to something, you can find it on dreamvision7radio.com. Until next week, give your pets a hug. Really enjoy them. Thanks for tuning in.
That's all for today. Find more answers to your questions next time on Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets every Monday and Tuesday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time by going to dreamvision7radio.com. Join holistic veterinarian Dr. Judy to discover healthy options for raising your pets in a more holistic manner. Visit drjudymorgan.com to learn more.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.